Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
Hey, Darren. Happy Mother's Day. We're recording this on Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, one and all, to all the mothers out there, all our motherly fans and listeners out there who have
all the mothers, all the stepmothers, all the
yes.
mothers-in-law, all the motherfuckers.
Yes, all y'all motherfuckers.
All y'all motherfuckers.
Happy Mother's Day, one and all.
Yes, we hope it was a good holiday for you. And,
indeed. Hope you got to go to that IHOP brunch that your kids took you to. And
ooh, dare to dream.
Fancy, with that hour and a half wait. 'Cause, that's one thing I've noticed. For some reason, especially during Mother's Day, everybody has the idea to take their mom to an IHOP or a Denny's. So the wait for a table is astronomical.
Wow. I don't think I've ever gone to an IHOP or a Denny's on a Mother's Day, so
it's nuts.
There's a lot of people cheaping out on Mother's Day, man.
Yeah, no, hey, man, hey, pancakes are pricey. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, hey, no judgment, and some nice flapjacks.
Yeah, get your mom a Grand Slam.
Now it just sounds dirty.
It does. As soon as I said it, I was like, that sounds wrong, but whatever, man. Hey, man, it's what your mom has needs. What am I gonna say?
If she didn't, you probably wouldn't be here.
Damn straight.
But anyway, we've got the Mother's Day episode of Saturday Night Live to review this week. It's with Maya Rudolph as the host, Vampire Weekend as a musical guest. We're talking season 49, episode 19 from May 11th, 2024.
Maya Rudolph, third time hosting Vampire Weekend. I believe this is their fourth time on the show. So, the two people who have hosted and they know the lay of the land. So this should be
should be a breeze.
Should be a breeze.
Walk in the all bangers.
Yes, cake.
All hits, no shits. I don't know. Is that a phrase? Probably isn't.
I don't think it is, but I love it. It should be a phrase.
Thank you.
All hits, no shits.
Let's get that. Just came up with that. Let's copyright that.
Let's get that going, people.
Let's get the legal team on that.
Absolutely. Let's get this started. Cold open. Mother's Day cold open.
Mother's Day cold open. This is the thing that the show has done a few times in the past, where they have the current cast bring out their mothers, and it's very heartwarming and it's very sweet, and they give the mothers little jokes to deliver. It's usually humiliating to the cast member in some fashion.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, usually this is. I mean, I can't hate on these cold opens. They're very sweet. You see the cast member's actual mom, and even though sometimes the mothers aren't the most adept at reading cue cards and
I mean, because they're not trained comic actors, but the way the cast are.
Yeah, but either way, it's endearing and sweet in its own way. Some of the jokes were genuinely funny, like when Chloe Fineman brought her mom out, and the mom thought that she would be on the Tom Brady roast, which just happened a week ago, and she said, "Oh, can I still tell? Since this isn't a roast, can I still tell the Tom Brady joke I have?"
Yeah.
And Chloe's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead, Mom." And he says, "Tom Brady's marriage finished so quickly, I thought it was your father."
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
And then Chloe was mock scandalized. That was a solid joke. That's a good joke.
It really was. I felt like my mom told that joke. I was like, Jesus, Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess that was probably the edgiest joke they had. And I also, when I saw Chloe's mom, I was like, wow, she looks and sounds so much like her.
Yeah.
I saw just a lot of similarity in their facial features. Like they have the same mouth, same, basically the same face, and their voices have a real similar timbre too. And that was real neat. And if there was a matching game where you match the SNL cast member with the picture of their mother, I don't know how well I would have done, because some of them you don't see a strong degree of resemblance.
Some you don't, some you do. It depends.
Not a complaint, just an observation.
Yeah, I mean, when Marcello's mom came out, I was like, oh, that didn't quite look like Marcello. I also did like the joke about how Che is trying to hook up with her. I thought
she's like, oh yeah, he sent me flowers, and the card was just a phone number.
It's like, God, damn it, Che. Stay away from my mom.
Yeah.
I like the joke Michael Longfellow's mom had about,
Uh huh.
or in the debt, and like when Michael Longfellow was on, he's talking about like everything I do for you, my mom, and then the
Yeah.
mom said like except for the jokes that bomb, and it's
Yeah.
like,
He's
yep,
like, yeah, those are for my dad.
hey, that's like, oh, that's a clever little joke, all right,
That was cute. That was cute. I liked that we had Molly and their mom both in bald caps. That was really cute.
yeah, yeah. Trost brought out her mom, saying, yeah, I watch the show every Sunday, and you
Hmm.
said like, you watch it on Sunday, yeah, doesn't everybody watch it on Sunday?
I
Which
mean,
yeah,
that's usually when I watch the show these days.
there you
So
go.
it's easier for
Uh,
me to watch it online the next morning. So
yeah, I like Punky brought out her mom, and then
Punky's
Punky,
got guns, by the way.
right? What the fuck? Like Punky's been working out.
Yeah.
She's at
Yeah.
Planet Fitness.
I don't know. This is like the second time on the show where it's like I've where Punky has surprised me with some aspect of her physicality.
I was like, Punky, what is
Yeah,
going on here?
there was like that AA group where Punky like is wearing like a Loca top, and you're just like, oh my goodness, and and then here, Punky is just like, yeah, and I'm like, damn, Punky
What
looks like
is
she could beat up everybody on that stage, man.
wow, Punky, you are a mystery.
Um,
And of course, I also liked how the PDD boys came out saying, yeah, since we're only kind of, sort of on the cast, uh, SNL had us bring out our dads.
yeah, and then they have like just three randos as their dads because
Yeah,
like their dads, like two out of the three, they are known comedy people.
yeah, exactly. So they just got three random guys that were all smoking, and they're like,
Yeah,
Dad, you can't smoke in here. It's like, what? It's just crack.
yeah. I wonder if they did that just to they wanted to avoid the nepo baby image or
Yeah,
something. I
I
mean, they
thought,
have joked about it in the past, but
right.
maybe I could see why in this context you maybe don't want to call attention to it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like, but still, it worked. I thought it was still pretty funny.
yeah. And then at the very end, Bowen appears with his mom, and they make a joke about how Colin and his mom were cut for time, and they have the same haircut, and we see Colin in a wig that looks like his mom's hairstyle. Um,
Right.
and Bowen's mom said something like, "Oh, we're from all parts of the country. We're from every side of the political spectrum." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, whose mom's a Republican? What's
That's
going on
right.
here? What's
Who's
going on?"
JAJ's mom? I'm looking at you.
I just gotten intensely curious about the political persuasions of all the SNL cast members' mothers because I'm like,
Yeah,
you have to put that line in there for a reason, right?
yeah. Like who has a MAGA hat in their closet? Come on,
Yeah.
fess up.
What's going on?
Like if I had to put money on it, yeah, maybe just Muke's mom or JJ. Whatever. I don't want to.
I
I don't
don't
want to cause
know. I
division.
don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows?
But,
Who knows?
but
It's probably not right for us to speculate that
yeah,
much. But
yeah. I shouldn't be putting people on blast
they're
like that.
private citizens. They have the
Yeah,
right
you're
to
right. Don't dox
feel
them,
how they
please. Don't
do.
do
But
that. Okay. But yeah, overall, a very nice, sweet, lovely cold open.
yeah, yeah. And it's always just kind of fun to see the interaction.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I've said before, like cold opens, they always seem to have trouble with throughout the
yeah.
seasons. Like they're always like the weakest part of the show. But in this case, might be one of the stronger parts of the show.
Who could hate on this cold open? Really? I
Yeah,
mean, we're not monsters.
yeah. What kind of heartless beast would hate on mothers and their children? I mean, come on, have a heart, man.
I mean, I could under the right circumstances, I could see us doing it, but
Oh wow,
not in this instance.
you could see us. You can see the bile and hatred coming out of us over this.
I mean, if I knew for sure that a few of them were MAGA, yeah, I could
Ooh,
I could I could see it in me to hate them.
look, happy Mother's Day, except for you.
Except for you, MAGA SNL moms.
Stay in the
Ugh.
kitchen. Stay in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
No, no, that's what.
What?
No, no, we're
I
not
don't.
saying that.
Well, are we not? I thought. Okay. Well, I thought we were on the
Yeah,
same
what are
page here.
what are you like the Republican response to the State of the Union? What
Oh,
was her name? Katie Britt, was that her name?
we forgot her name already. Damn.
And she was in the news again just like a day or two ago. She had something else idiotic happening. Like she was coming out in favor of that. Oh yeah, the government should keep track of women's pregnancies, and I'm just
What? What?
yeah.
We're really
I
just
read
going.
this has nothing to do with anything, but I read a story the other day that there is somewhere in Texas, somewhere in the local government, like they successfully lowered the minimum wage from like $10, 10 something an hour to like 7 something an hour. And it's like, what the fuck are we even doing, people?
Yeah, we're really just going back in time. Like we're just like, like we're gonna have just roll back those child labor laws and
Yeah. I don't know.
paying people a living wage and
Yeah.
Christ,
I
jeez
mean,
Louise.
we were, before we started recording, we were talking about like, rents and searching for a house, and
Yeah,
that stuff is just not financially feasible anymore.
yeah, like living in a van down by the river sounds like a pretty good deal these days.
It's me by the end of this year, buddy.
Oh boy! All right, wow, wow, we got real. Shit got real.
Shit got real. All right. But
Uh,
anyway, like they said, with the world and such a dumpster fire, it's nice to have something like this that just kind of makes you feel good for
yes,
6 minutes.
exactly. Just feel good for the next hour plus.
Yeah. Well, let's slow
Ooh.
down.
All right, all right. Well, in
I
theory,
said 6 minutes.
in theory, let's feel good for the next.
Theoretically, yes, the next hour and change. So next we have the Maya Rudolph monologue, and she did a big musical number. They talked about how she's achieved extraterrestrial mother status.
Yeah. So she comes out talking about how she has 4 kids. She's a mom, and
Hmm.
then uh, Bowen and Sarah coming out saying how she's not just a mom, she is mother,
Yeah.
and like she has her foot on our necks, and she is has achieved extraterrestrial mother status, and they're basically kind of using like the same terminology that that you would hear if you're watching like RuPaul's Drag Race or like the terminology that's
Oh,
been used.
that's why it wasn't very familiar to me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like it's basically kind of lingo that the LGBTQIA queer community has been using in like those ball competitions.
Uh huh.
Like if you ever seen the TV show Pose, like
I have not. I'm
you
not
have
sure if I've
you know
heard of the TV show
oh god.
Pose.
Yeah, all right. So for those that don't know, have you seen the movie Paris is Burning?
I know of it.
All right. So, all right, quick history. So, basically, if you've ever seen the movie Paris is Burning, it's a documentary about the ballroom competition underground scene that happened in New York City in the mid to late 80s. So,
Hmm.
basically, like a lot of, queer people of color came and they did the ballroom sort of competition thing. It was like a very underground thing. RuPaul was a big part of it back in the day, back when RuPaul was in New York trying to still struggling to make it. And it was basically like a lot of people from different sects of different houses, quote unquote, they call them, and they would be in these like ballroom competitions. And then they started to sort of these using this new terminology, like you really came here to slay, and
Right. I've
yeah,
heard that bit of slang.
yeah, there's like a lot of slang that came from that we
Okay.
use
Cool.
today. Like like I remember watching the documentary, and like one of the people who they interviewed back in the '80s was like, "Yes, this is a term we use called throwing shade or shading somebody." And I was like, "Oh shit, the word shade that's been around since the '80s." That really opened my
Well,
mind.
I mean, that's how most slang starts, right? It starts with like some particular subculture, and then it just gradually filters down to the mainstream.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, very much so. Like, and also they showed in the documentary how like Madonna would kind of use that ballroom scene for to inspire her to make a
mhm.
voguing a thing. So the whole Madonna Vogue song came directly from that underground scene, and like
Right.
that,
Yeah,
and then
I knew that bit at
right,
least.
and then RuPaul kind of took that scene and made RuPaul's Drag Race, and like that's why we have terms like Yas Queen, Slay Bitch, and
Right.
stuff like that. So they took that and put it all into this cold open because like the term mother means like yeah she is mother, she is giving, she is life. So
Hmm.
like they're kind of using the word mother in both ways, like an actual
Yeah,
mother and like she is the ultimate, she is mother type
and
of
they
thing.
declare her mother of the house Rockefeller, and she just kind of goes around backstage at Studio 8H and
Yeah,
singing the
unfortunately,
song.
no llamas, no showgirls, and no Lincoln.
Yeah, we may
Mm.
be past that age because we
What?
don't have Seth Meyers writing for the show on a regular basis anymore, and I think he was the big booster of that.
Oh,
I that is a tradition I'd like to see maintained, but
Yeah, but yeah, that we
you know,
get into, like you said, we get into this whole montage, not montage, but like this whole choreography thing where she does like the sort of Madonna voguing thing, talk about how she's mother, and then she
yeah, the
rattles
end
off.
of the song was very Vogue.
Yes,
Yeah,
very, very much so. And then, but then she
yeah,
rattles off uh, some past sketches from SNL's history, like talking about how she coined the phrase "sweater weather," and she mentions
hmm
the, SNL history, like the Coneheads and the Sweeney sisters and Lisa from Temecula, and then Punky comes out to say, "Yes, this cold open is giving body yaddy yaddy," and has people
yeah,
gagged.
yeah. That was like a message from the gay community.
Yas, bitch,
Yeah.
yas.
So,
Yeah, not a pretty.
what'd you think of this?
I liked it. It was definitely high energy. It definitely got the people pumped up. Like I understand. Like if you're not familiar with what they're referencing, like how this
hmm
you might be a little lost on it. But like even like if I think you don't get the references, you still kind of enjoy it just because it's like giving. It's giving. It's mother.
Yeah, I
It
was
does
just
pump.
so on it.
All right.
Um,
I mean, it was just
yeah,
such a big spectacle. I
yeah. I
kind
mean,
of
I usually like it when they start the show with a big splashy musical number, but this one, I guess, just maybe because it was drawn from like the RuPaul's Drag Race type of stuff, maybe it just didn't speak to me because I don't watch that show and I've never watched that show, so
okay.
it's nothing
Oh,
against it. I'm just rather unfamiliar with it.
okay. Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, so I think I enjoyed this more in concept than in execution, if that makes sense. Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough,
Um,
fair enough,
yeah.
fair enough. But yeah, so off to a big start.
hmm
First sketch of the night, Hot Ones, Part
Hot,
2.
Hot ones with Beyonce too, because she's done this before. She did this during like one of her previous hosting gigs. Because I don't think Hot Ones was it couldn't have been around when she was still a cast member. So
No, she did this the last time she hosted, where she was
okay,
Beyonce
right.
on Hot Ones. I think,
Yeah, and I guess they just decided, well, Beyonce and Hot Ones are both in the news recently, so
yeah. I mean, it makes
let's do it
sense.
again.
Yeah, but they kind of made it a little bit more sense this time because yes, Beyonce does have a new album out, her country album.
hmm
But then they also meant they had her as Beyonce say, "Yeah, the last time I was on the show, I didn't. This is the first thing I attempted. I did not slay, and that
Yes,
bothered me. So I'm back." So I was like, "All right, so
they at least
that's
motivated it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah." They
because
showed
I'm
some
not sure if
motivation.
there's anyone who's actually done Hot Ones twice.
There are a few people. I'm trying to think of
Are
who.
there? Okay.
Yeah, I know for
I don't
sure.
think I was watching Hot Ones when they did this sketch the first time, but I've gotten into the show in the last year or two,
Yeah,
and it really is an enjoyable show. And Sean Evans is an amazing interviewer.
yeah. I actually enjoy Hot Ones quite a bit. Yeah, I think I got
Yeah.
into it probably over the pandemic. They probably had
hmm
some SNL cast member on it that I was. I know Pete was on it, and like some
Yeah.
other. I think Sudeikis did it too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
He
it
did
is.
it.
Yeah, because you hear the premise of it, it sounds kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But like then once they eat the wings, you see them kind of drop their facade a bit and like get really
Right,
kind
because
of
I mean, usually a lot of times, like as the wings get progressively hotter, which is the premise of the show. I guess we should explain it quickly if somebody's not familiar with Hot Ones, the way I'm not familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race. Like they have 10 chicken wings, or it's like vegan wings if they're not meat eaters,
right,
and they are in increasingly hotter Scoville level hot sauce,
right.
and a lot of people, some people are able to do it without much problem. Some people not as used to spicy foods, and they're just like, oh my god, and some people even punch out before you get to the final hot wing because they're getting increasingly hotter, and and it's fun like when they are so yeah they get very out of their head because
Yeah.
they're just eating these hot wings and they can't really put on a facade like you said.
Yeah, and I've seen some people like kind of tap out after like the fifth wing or so. Like I can't
hmm
do anymore type of
Yeah.
stuff. But and it's also like you said, Sean Evans is a really good interviewer. He does a thing where he'll ask some questions that you can tell the person being interviewed has never been asked before in an interview.
I have watched compilations of people on Hot Wings being impressed by his questions,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh wow, how do you know that?
yeah,
Where you did your research?" And it's
yeah,
like you can easily watch like a 15-20 minute compilation
yeah.
of people
Because
just
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
really awesome to see somebody open up, like, because
Yeah.
they've done interviews 100 times and they get the same stock questions. But
Mhm.
if you ask somebody a question that like they're genuinely interested in answering, they're like, "Oh shit! Wow, no one's ever asked me that before. I'd love to talk
Yes.
about that."
Yes,
Like, it's
and
a
as
good
an
feeling.
interviewer, that is, like, the biggest high when they're like, "Oh, wow, that's a really good question. I haven't been asked that before." When you can figure out something to ask them that they haven't answered a million times and they don't and you break them out of that rote answer, it's the coolest
Right?
thing, and Sean Evans and I'm assuming they have a research team too. He's really good, and he's also really good at just, like, meeting people at their level and putting them
Yeah,
at ease, and it's just a really good show.
yeah.
Check it out. Go down a YouTube rabbit hole and check out Hot Ones if you haven't. It's
Yeah.
I had doubts about it before I started watching it, but now I'm like, yeah, Hot Ones is fucking amazing, man.
It's really good. Like there was the one where Colin Farrell was on it, and he was like, "This is a really good. You're a really good interview. You've asked me
Yeah,
questions no one ever asked. Like I've been dying to answer. I've been dying to talk about these things no one's ever asked me about it. And like you asked me, I love being here. It's a
yeah,
really hot one. It sounds dumb, but it's a lot better than you
yeah.
think.
I mean, it wouldn't have lasted this many years if it wasn't a good show.
Yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure. But
okay, so
but
I
yeah,
guess we should get back to the sketch.
yeah, I guess we should. Hot One's Beyonce, yes. So yeah, it basically hits on a lot of the same beats as it did the first time, where
Yeah,
the first wing is fine, like around the second wing, where she's eating the wing dipped in Sergeant Sphincter's volcano sauce.
uh huh.
That's when and her bones get hot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. And she breaks into a sweat, and she's yeah. And she's because you think of Beyonce, she's very poised and very always in control, and
yeah,
here we see Maya's Beyonce just kind of freaking out, but
yeah,
trying not to indicate that she's freaking out.
yeah. Like they have her blur out her face as she burps.
Yeah,
She has like one wing with a sauce on it that has no names, just a picture of a toilet on fire.
yeah.
At one point, she speaks in tongues, and of course, Keenan pops out as her assistant,
D.
and
Raphael.
yes, and she instructs his assistant to get the cocoa butter aloe lotion out of her purse and put it in, douse as much of it into her mouth, and then we get this
Yeah,
pretty funny visual of Maya lapping up lotion as Keenan pumps it into her mouth. That
right.
sounds filthy, but it's yeah,
It it kind of does, and somebody could make some hideous gifts out of that, I'm sure. But
yes. We're not telling you to do that.
it's funny in context. And she also like asks for Sean's milk at one point. Mikey Day playing Sean Evans, and then she just like dumps his milk on Mikey. But then like after the lotion bit, then they cut back to Mikey, and he's still like got all the milk on his face and it's dripping off his fake beard. And I'm like, ew, why didn't he? Why didn't he get to wipe the milk off his face?
Yeah, like
I'm like, I know you probably think that's a funny visual, but no human just would leave that. And
yeah,
they have
no,
napkins on hot ones.
yeah, milk on your face is a gross feeling.
Yeah, and I'm sure like milk dripping off a fake beard that can't be pleasant. I mean, it's like at least have him wiping his mouth when he cut back to it, and then you can have the funny visual. And I don't know, I just really felt for Mikey in that
Yeah, no,
moment.
Mikey's a pro. He stays in character.
And then ultimately, Beyonce taps out, and Keenan, as her assistant D. Raphael, does the little Men in Black memory eraser device,
Right.
the little
Exactly.
flashy thing.
Little flashy thing.
Uh,
And then we're out.
I
Not
don't know if
bad.
we really needed this again.
Um Nah, yeah, not
Yeah.
really. I mean, they gave us enough reason why she would want to come back, but like if they kind of hit the same beats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of these. I kind of call them like Mad Lib sketches, where you're basically just doing the same sketch as the first one, and you're subbing in a few different punchlines.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what this kind of felt like. It felt like they were just doing it because Beyonce and Hot Ones are both in the news recently.
Yeah, you know,
Beyonce for the Cowboy Carter episode, and then Hot Ones for the Conan O'Brien episode, which went viral. Um, And honestly, I feel like doing a Hot Ones parody is kind of a losing proposition right now because it's not going to be funnier than Conan O'Brien's appearance. It's just not.
yeah, guys, watch the Conan O'Brien one. Holy moly, that is mother of Lord.
It
It's the best thing I've seen in a while.
it is brilliant. I mean, it is so fun. I mean, Conan is Conan goes into it with like a false bravado, and and he has one of his writers, Jose Arroyo, playing his doctor, his hilariously incompetent doctor who's
Yes.
checking up on him throughout. And it's like, check my pulse, and Doctor Arroyo puts his hands around Conan's neck.
Yeah, he isn't very good, but he is very affordable.
Yes, just so funny. I may have to just rewatch that one just for the hell of it, because definitely funnier than this.
Yeah. So next up, we got a pre-tape. We got the PDD boys. They're back.
Finally, we've had like I don't know how many weeks without them. At least two.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
My boys, my beautiful boys.
Look what they did to my boys.
Yeah. So this one is
this is called Explore Page, and it's got all three of them out on the town with their girlfriends.
Yeah, out of the office into a restaurant.
I know. Yeah, it didn't take place on SNL writing night or anything. I mean, I'm
Crazy.
assuming because it didn't say SNL writing night.
Right. But I did also like how uh, uh, Higgins is with his girlfriend Chelsea, which is a callback to the Chelsea pre-tape they did a while back on the Steve Martin Short episode.
Yeah, when she walks into a room, it's like, oh, I guess this room's just gonna suck a little bit now. Yeah, I was thinking like, was Chelsea the name of his girlfriend in that episode? And
It
yeah,
was. It was.
yeah. So nice little subtle callback, a little bit of continuity. Um, and yeah, they're all just chatting. The girlfriends decide to look at each other's Instagram explore pages, and they
Which
have innocent things like, oh, mine's all cookie recipes, mine's all puppy dogs,
and yeah. What I mean, first of all, showing other people your Instagram Explore page that's a terrible idea. I don't want no part of that
that's
right
a
there and then.
dangerous proposition. I feel like it's probably a safer bet for most women than most men.
Yeah, like dudes are into some weird shit.
Because well, and there's some weird shit on Instagram. I mean,
We're pretty gross.
yeah, and I block a lot of shit on Instagram, and
Okay.
even I see my share of weird shit.
Yeah. Oof. You don't want to know the real me, people.
No, no,
I
um, but um, but so obviously all the guys are reluctant to share that, and the women of course have no idea. They're like, oh, if it's just bikini models, we can handle that, and they're like, oh no, and Martin like dumps his phone into his soup.
yes. Yeah, and I think at one point, the one thing I did like it where Ben tries to eat his phone. I thought that would be like
Yeah,
a one-off gag, but then they followed it up with no, he actually did eat his phone.
yeah, and he's wearing like a makeup piece appliance on his neck, and you see the phone glowing through this rectangular shape in his neck.
Yeah, it looks
And
like a Tex Avery cartoon almost.
yeah, it kind of does. It's very cartoonish.
Yeah, but then we find out that all the guys have been following this kind of social media influencer, Unisa Confidence,
Yes,
who is an online girlfriend for men with self-esteem issues.
right.
And all the girlfriends at the table are kind of confused, like, wait, so is this like a sex thing? And it's like it is, but it's not for. It's like for men who need a boost in their self-confidence, and also she'll show you her saggy long boobs.
Yeah, yeah. And Martin's given her like a $3,000 donation.
Yeah, you gave this bitch $3,000.
Yeah, um, and yeah. So it's just this kind of cartoony thing that the guy's trying to avoid revealing this, and we find out that John is going to a conference in South Dakota that she's hosting, and
Right,
and
because like yeah,
and
Chelsea's
his
like, this is where
girlfriend
we're
just
going. Yeah, that's where we're going to
yeah
Sioux Falls.
yeah. Oh, with Sioux Falls, not South Dakota. That's right.
Right. Wait, is it in Sioux
Oh,
Falls in South Dakota?
it's in Iowa, isn't it?
I don't know. I
I
went to
don't know.
public school. I don't
One
know.
of those Midwest flyover states.
Yeah, that's right. Us cultural elites, we don't give a fuck about
That's
y'all.
right. Um, and then at the end, Marcelo kind of gives a speech. Marcelo is a waiter. He gives a speech on this epidemic of male loneliness. And I'm like, oh, damn, we got kind of real here at the end of this Please Don't Destroy sketch.
Yeah, that
Holy
was
shit.
it. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh wow, this just came from like a real place. Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
but then it
this was
ends. Yeah, but then
this
it
was
ends.
all right. I don't think it was great, but
Um, yeah, not the best PDD sketch, but
yeah,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
yeah. It was nice to have him back.
Yeah, it's nice to have him back. I thought that the funniest part was Ben actually swallowing a iPhone, and in the end, of course, it killing him.
Yes, yeah. You're like, oh yeah, your friend who swallowed the iPhone, he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, you are right. Sioux Falls is in South Dakota. Just
Oh,
looked
I
it up.
thought didn't I say it was in Iowa?
You did, but it's in South Dakota.
Oh,
Whatever. If it ain't New York
okay.
or LA, I
So I
don't
guess we
even
were
care.
both right. You were right about Sioux Falls. I was right about South Dakota,
Okay. All right. So we're both right.
and we both learned a little something about geography.
The more you know.
All right. Speaking of more, we got
Teachers.
teacher PSA.
Yeah. Y'all won.
It's end of the school year. It's just teachers who are just incredibly burned out by how fucking weird kids are.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And
it.
it's like y'all won, y'all rude, and y'all nasty.
Yeah. Maya
You're
Rudolph. Yeah, Maya Rudolph talking about how kids use lingo like Rizzler and
Mhm.
Gyat, Cheeks, and Phantom Tax, which I looked up. These are all actual TikTok words that kids are using these days.
I figured it was real stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They say you're on drugs and spectrums that did not even exist in 2006.
Right.
Uh, COVID broke something in you that we can't fix.
Exactly. We have a thing where Keenan plays like a principal in a neck brace because he tried to break up a fight between two kids, and they end up
Mhm.
attacking him. Yes, he got pieced up by two non-binary asexuals,
Yeah,
and yeah, and then we have Ego as a teacher who says her way of coping is by using the TSIDDAHN method, and that spells out to sit down.
yeah.
And that got a huge laugh from
It
people.
really did. It really did. And as you know, she was carrying a thermos, and as soon as like I saw the thermos, I was like, oh, she's gonna have alcohol in the thermos.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that.
Yeah, and they're all just talking about how burned out they are at the end of this school year, which has been exceptional. I just feel like somebody's kids are having trouble at school in the
Yeah,
SNL writers' room or in the cast. Maybe I'm like, okay, let's see who in the cast has kids. I know Keenan has kids, Mikey has kids. I'm not sure if anybody else in the cast has kids.
that they know of.
Good call. Good call. And then at the very end, it's an ad for OnlyFans for some reason. I guess the implication is like they're all burned out on teaching, and so they're all going to start up OnlyFans pages or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know if that OnlyFans tag was necessary. It was a little.
It was just a really weird note to end it on.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this sketch I thought it was okay. It kind of bummed me out more than anything, just because like I know
Yeah,
like teachers are kind of burnt out. Like I've seen news articles about how teachers are kind of quitting in like mass force.
yeah,
So to see like, yeah, we're done with your kids. We're done with teaching. There's no hope, and
yeah,
it's like, oh, this is kind of sad.
yeah. It had its moments. I wasn't too nuts about this one overall.
Yeah, I didn't take too many notes on this one. Yeah, this one was like, I mean, the to sit down part
Hmm.
was pretty
That was
funny.
clever.
That was clever, but
I thought the ending was kind of weak. I was just, I think I'm kind of tired of oh, this whole sketch is a fake out, and it's actually a commercial for this unlikely product. And
yeah,
they've probably been doing that for the better part of a decade. I like the earliest one I can remember is that sketch with the Rock where they're doing the evil inventions, and at the end it's a commercial for White Castle because
yeah,
they'll serve anybody.
yeah. See, that's the yeah,
They've
like
been doing it so much, it's not really an unexpected surprise anymore.
yeah. It's if anything, it's kind of a it's kind of a marker for like the writers maybe not knowing how to end the sketch
Yeah,
or not believing in the sketch enough
yeah.
to like have it just kind of stand on its own. It's like, well, this sketch is kind of weak, so let's just end this wacky. This has actually been a commercial for such and such product. I was
Hey,
like,
look, you didn't see this non sequitur coming, did you? And yeah, it's
uh,
becoming a little bit of a crutch.
yeah,
So
for sure, for sure. But yeah, this sketch I thought was like kind of. It definitely was one of the weaker ones of the night. I'll say for sure.
yeah, yeah, wasn't too nuts about this one. And speaking of not too nuts,
Nuts.
British caveman.
Yeah. So this is a Nat Geo sketch, where it's a show, where they talk about the British caveman, and we have JAJ coming out as the narrator talking about we know all about the early days of cavemen in the
Right.
U.S.
And they
and
were all over the globe, even in what is the future London.
right, and then they show cavemen and British cavemen, and it's just basically the cast members dressed as cavemen, kind of grunting and grunting in like British accents.
British sounding
Like,
gibberish. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and just like a lot of, oh, this is the British woman talking to the British man.
And yeah, and that's all it was. The only thing that really amused me in this was Mikey comes out as Amicus McJaggerus.
Yes, and
I
it's
thought that was clever.
yeah, and it's just like them kind of mugging for the camera in British accents and like, hey, what? Which
Yeah,
I mean,
it got old really fast, and I just didn't think it was very funny to begin with. So,
yeah, let's kind of. I mean, I've noticed like some people online saying this seems like a sketch that SNL would have done in like season one.
uh
This feels like something like Franken and Davis would have written up, and like Gilda, Lorraine, and Aykroyd would have done. It has like a very throwback vibe to it.
yeah, I can see that. It also seemed to be one of those sketches that like amused the cast much more than the audience. So,
Yes, I can see them like at 2 o'clock in the morning still writing sketches, and
mhm.
like them being delirious and punchy to the point where just grunting in British accents is hilarious to you.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
hey, yeah, hey, how you do?
yeah. Just it didn't do
Ha!
much for me though.
Yeah, I think Monette Marathi said something about it too, where it's this sounds like this felt like a sketch that would have been on like maybe on Lampoon Radio back in the day. It felt like it had a very kind of old school throwback
Hmm.
vibe to it, but it wasn't necessarily great.
Other thing I found interesting about it is apparently some cavemen had tattoos.
Yeah, why can't they just cover that shit up?
I'm just like, you know what? The tattoos on Chloe Fineman and Sarah Sherman's arms, they're both relatively unobtrusive. Slap a little bit of makeup on them.
Yeah, or if they're cavemen, just put hair on them.
Or yeah, or just give them like a fur that covers up that area of their arm because it just distracted me momentarily. And I was just like, oh, that's incredibly fine needlework for cavemen.
Yes, the tattooed cavemen. Yeah. Oh, and then we have like you said, like Sarah coming out as caveman visiting from France. So she's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, she's got a mustache and I think a beret, and
yeah. So
I
that's
don't
how you
know.
know she's
Yeah,
French because all the French have
yeah,
mustaches and berets and carry around baguettes.
kind of a weak ending.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they knew it was like a kind of a simple, silly, dopey sketch, so they just leaned into it. But it's still, it was still.
Yeah, it was simple, stupid, and dopey. You know what? It wasn't especially funny.
Damn, got him. Tell him
It
what's up,
was.
King.
I mean, it was like 3 minutes 42 seconds. Felt a lot longer.
Yeah, they could have chopped off a few minutes off of that.
Yeah, because it's just like the one joke, and
Yeah, I mean, I expected some type of twist in there or something, but no, it was just them grunting in British accents. I was like, all right,
yep,
I guess.
not a lot to it.
Pre-tape number 2. Can you pick me up?
It's just Maya's mom picking up her daughter from a slumber party, and she has to make an excuse because the daughter's embarrassed for reasons we never learn, and it's her picking her up like a dozen different times, giving a different wacky excuse each time.
Yeah, basically. Her saying, "Oh, she needs to come home now because her grandma. We have to get ready for her grandma's funeral, like now." And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, because
and we
grandma.
promised her a night funeral because
Yes,
she loved the night.
yes, and no, she has to come now because her father has become gay, and she has to come back, and and then of course they incorporate Keenan saying, "Yeah, like I'm sending your father to come pick you up," and of course Keenan as the dad, he's like, "Yeah, I have to pick her up because your daughter's mean and your house smells weird."
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not gay. Uh,
Um, I have a
I
point.
will admit I did get a kick out of the point where at one point Maya just says cicadas and she releases a bunch of cicadas into the person's house.
Right. Yeah, she's got a handful. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think like the excuses were really wacky enough for this to be as funny as it could have been. Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's one point where they dress up in fake mustaches and they pretend to be the girl police to take her to girl jail. I was like,
mhm.
okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, and
Also, I just kept wondering. I was like, if you have to pick up your daughter in the middle of the night this many times, stop sending her to slumber parties.
yeah, that look, I'm not a parent. I don't get it. But yeah, like the logical part of my mind is saying, yeah,
Yeah.
like if you just keep coming back from because you for whatever reason you're not comfortable at the slumber party or if something happened over
Yeah.
there or whatever. But like if this keeps happening, then just don't. I'm not gonna send you to
Yeah.
the slumber party. Why do you keep
I've
going to the slumber party
got to lay down
if
the
you?
law. Again, this sketch made me feel like somebody's having problems at home.
Yeah, yeah. Like is this coming? Is this a cry for help, Mikey? You all
Yeah.
right, man?
I don't know. I don't like. I feel like some parents are on staff are having a really tough time of late.
Like I'm really going through it, man.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's like, oh, it's a Mother's Day thing because aren't they so great for all they do? And
Yeah, they sweetened it up at the end. Was like, oh yeah, moms are there for you no matter what, and Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Thanks for picking us up. I was like, all right, well that's all right. So now you make me feel like I can't hate on this sketch because you ended it with this nice, sweet little ending. Like, oh, if I hate this
oh,
sketch,
I
I hate.
can. Oh,
Oh
I
wow,
can.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
No, well, I'm dead inside. So
the hate is strong within you. Okay, okay, all right. But yeah, I thought the sketch was okay enough. It's
yeah,
unoffensive. Meh. All right. But what I did like is our musical get. Wow, my voice really cracked there. my
really did. You enter puberty in that intro.
It's time to change to yes, Vampire Weekend. They did
Vampire Weekend got
two
a new album out. It's been out for about a month now.
yeah. They did two songs, Gen X Cops and
Mhm.
Capricorn.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is one of the few times where not only am I familiar with the musical guests, but I actually like them quite a bit and I have the new album and I've listened to it and I really enjoy it.
Now I have not heard the new album yet, so this was my first exposure to their new material. First number, Gen X Cops. I really liked it. It was great stuff. It's kind of more electronic sounding than what they've done in the past.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, like the new album definitely they kind of tinker with the formula, and to quote Christopher Walken in the cowbell sketch, really they really explore the space because like
mm,
they kind of, I mean, when they first came out, a lot of people compared them to Paul Simon, and rightfully so. They say, oh, this is the first few albums gave like very strong Graceland vibes.
hmm
They were messing with a lot of world music and stuff like that. But this one, they still have some world music influences, but then they do go a little electronic. There's like a little bit of jazz in there. There's a little bit of classical music here and there. They really kind of stretch out a bit and mature. I thought the new
hmm
album is called "Only God Was Above Us," and I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
really
have
like this
to
album.
check it out. I have like I think their first three albums, if I remember correctly.
Uh,
So I kind of lost track of them after Modern Vampires of the City.
oh
Um,
right, that was their third one,
yeah.
and
I
the
have Vampire Weekend, Contra, Modern Vampires of the City, and then I think I kind of lost track of them because I wasn't buying as much music.
right.
Um, and like when I saw the previews for this week, I was like, wait, there are just three guys in Vampire Weekend. I thought there were four guys, and I kind of lost track that one of the members had left. So,
Right. Yeah, Ratsum, he left the band and they
mhm.
kind of continued on. Their last album, I think that was like a double album called Father of the Bride, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That one was kind of met with mixed reviews and people thought, nah, this isn't their strongest. But this new album, a lot of people are liking, I think.
Oh,
It's
so a little
back to form.
comeback.
Yes.
Comeback.
Don't call it a
So, yeah.
comeback. They've been here.
Yeah, so I really like the first number, Gen X Cops. That was great stuff. The Capricorn, it's more ballady. That one didn't grab me as much, but it was fine enough.
Yeah, yeah. No, both performances I really enjoyed. I thought were really strong. Kudos to Ezra and the gang. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed
And the
their
Chris's.
performance. The Chris's, yes, the two Chris's. But yeah, I really dig these two performances. I dig their groovy tunes, man.
Yeah, they might be my favorite musical guest of the season.
Ooh, it might be. I'd have to go back and watch. It might be a toss up between them and Boy Genius. I really like Boy Genius, but like Vampire Weekend, I would definitely put them up there.
Yeah, I'd have to look at a list again before I totally committed myself to it. Well,
Right, right.
I'm
But
sure
I mean, we'll get all
we'll talk
into.
about it when we're doing our year in review show in a couple
Bam!
weeks.
That's right. Coming up, folks. Year in review coming up soon.
Yep.
Hmm. So
Anything else to say about Vampire Weekend?
no, they're dope. The new album is dope. Check it out. Shit rocks, as the kids say. It slays. It's giving mother Yas Queen.
It gets the Darren Patterson seal of approval.
Yes, 2 snaps up.
There's a little sticker when you go to the record store. It's just Darren giving a thumbs up.
Yes, and the record store people keep telling me to stop doing that. I will
Yeah.
not. My
Yeah.
voice will be heard. Luckily, there's only like 1 or 2 record stores around these days. Well,
Yes.
so yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Darren's old and he thinks people still buy music at record stores.
Do people still buy the records for their phonographs?
Anyway, we got an update.
Colin Jost, Michael Che.
Hey.
Mm.
So we'll also talk about this week. We got the Trump trial. We got Stormy Daniels testifying. We got Christy Noem killing dogs.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
I like Jost's jokes. Jeez, Jost's jokes about Stormy Daniels talking about how people are saying like she lied about his affair for money, which would make Stormy Daniels the only person to do business with Trump and make money.
Yeah.
I
I
like.
liked how he said that the description of Trump having sex was so disgusting that even the sky turned green because like the aurora borealis is visible. I think pretty much across the country this week.
Yeah,
Have you seen it at all?
I have. Well, I mean, I haven't gone out and checked it out, but I haven't seen it
Neither
all.
have I. Yeah, I don't know if it's visible in our area or not. I haven't. A
I'm,
couple nights ago, I was like, I should go out and look, but I was tired, and
yes,
so I didn't.
the outdoors frightens me.
Yes,
I'm a caveman.
but some of the pictures I saw online were very nice.
Yes, absolutely. I did like this one joke Che told about Stormy Daniels, where the judge asked her to name her movies, and
Mm-hmm.
after she finished, the judge banged the gavel and opened oral arguments were the name of her movies.
Yes,
And it
and
seemed like not to get a big response that
he
Che
got
was.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, but like once you like write it out and you see it's like, oh, I see what he's saying, and
yeah,
that was a thinker. That one's a thinker.
yeah. And Che was like, "Oh, really? I was really proud of that joke."
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that joke did deserve more. I will give him that.
Yeah,
I'm on his side. I'm on the Chase side with
yeah.
that.
Maybe the delivery wasn't what it should have been. I don't know. I don't know what
It's
went wrong there.
it's a very wordy joke, and yeah, you have to phrase it just right so people get what you're saying.
Right. Um,
But then you showed the visual, and that should have helped. But I don't know.
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows why jokes do what they do?
I don't know. I don't know. I like the joke. I think this was one of Joe's where he said that there were no descriptions of Trump's genitalia after the jury paid hush money.
Oh right, yes.
That they wouldn't have to hear that.
I like the Kim Kardashian joke Che told where he's like, because Kim Kardashian was wearing this dress at the Met Gala, and the corset was so tight. It was like
It was
really tight, like.
crushing her organs.
But I already saw her organs get crushed by Ray J.
Damn.
Damn, son, you crazy for this one, Che.
Yeah.
And I also like the Marvel joke that Jost had about how this is the first summer Marvel had
Yeah.
without a movie opening. But some people really need those Marvel movies to open to help pay for the Staten Island ferries they bought.
Yeah. And this is stupid, but I also like that they were talking about the worker attacking passengers on the cruise ship with scissors, and he was subdued by a passenger with a rock. I was just like, that's stupid, but god damn it, it made me laugh.
Stupid but funny. I got a kick out of that one too. I was like, all right, that's
Yeah.
fine.
So we had a couple death segments. We had Sarah as RFK Jr.'s brainworm.
As soon as I heard that
How
in the news,
insane is this story?
it's insane. As soon as I heard about this in the news, I was like, all right, SNL is going to do something with that. Like, you can't not. The man had a dead worm in his brain.
It ate part of his brain, and
oh boy.
and The
He's
weirdest thing is that's not even the weirdest thing that's happened in this presidential election cycle. I mean,
he's running for president, man.
we're just we're just in crazy town.
Why?
Um,
Oh,
so we have Sarah as costumed up as the RFK Junior brainworm, making jokes about that, and she's also getting in jokes at Colin's expense because it's Sarah doing a weekend update guest segment. I liked how when Kevin Spacey's name came up, she was like, "Hey, your old pal."
oh yes, of course, poking fun at the fact that Colin is a pervert.
Yeah, and she's sipping throughout with a cup that has like a brain pattern on it. And whoever was doing the sound effects for her sipping through the straw was on fucking point, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like she kept on trying to trip the guy up, but
Yeah,
no, or gal, or they them.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Women can do sound effects too, Darren.
that's right. It's the '90s, man. They can do whatever they want.
That's right.
That's right. Yas Queen Slay. But yeah, yeah. Whoever was doing it, whoever was doing it, they were like really on point with that.
Yeah, they were, and it was kind of funny because like earlier I was watching a segment that Seth Meyers did on his show this week, and he at one point was like miming typing at a typewriter, and this sound effects person kept the sound of the typewriter going after he stopped miming typing, and Seth Meyers was like mocking the person for that. So I was like, okay, well I guess it's not the same person who's working on Seth's show in SNL,
Right.
or
Yeah.
they learned their lesson really hard. I don't know which.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, overall, I thought this the segment was all right.
Hmm.
Didn't wow me, didn't blow me away, but yeah, I thought it was like.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the costume that Sherman was in was pretty impressive.
It was impressive. She looked kind of like a Dune popcorn bucket. Um,
Yes, very much so.
towards the end, she's talking about how she's sucking out Colin's memories, and he's like, "I want my memories." She's like, "Even that time you ran over a cyclist in your Porsche,"
Yeah, and Joe's like, he
and then
came.
we find out that he was on a Peloton.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, nicely absurd.
Yeah, and then we ended with Heidi Gardner coming out as a woman who says she's not mad, giving gift ideas for Mother's Day.
Yeah, this didn't work for me.
I thought it was okay. Just, I mean, but then it's just because I like seeing Heidi do, character work and kind of really kind of leaning into the theme of who she's supposed to be.
Yeah, Heidi played it well enough. I just thought the writing was kind of weak, and
Yeah,
I'm also kind of sick of characters where it's just like, and now character whose character trait we announce at the top. Um,
yeah, I know.
it's more fun when they bother to give them a name and we get to discover the character trait instead of like, here's what the joke is. Now here's the joke. Um,
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Like, I kind
yeah,
of wish they would give these characters like actual names
yeah. I
and
mean, like people were. If they were doing Stefan now, it would be like, and now the club kid who can't give us straightforward vacation recommendations. That's what they'd call Stefan now.
yeah. So, club kid who can't give us straightforward club recommendations, what's going on?
Yeah.
And yeah, but I mean, I think Heidi played it well enough. Like, I like the
Hmm.
when she gets upset and she's just, it's just like a lot of passive aggressive stuff. She starts angrily folding laundry out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
um, and then we, of course, at the end we find out that she's upset because she was told that she would be hosting SNL tonight instead of just getting plunked down in the worst possible segment of the show, the weekend update.
Yeah.
She was told she emailed Joseph's assistant, Mailer Damon,
Yeah.
and and yeah, exactly.
Just a very random ending, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a sucker for seeing Heidi do good character work, so I enjoyed it for that.
Okay.
But yeah,
All
but
right.
at the same
Well, I
time,
think you're wrong.
yeah,
What do you
but
think about that, huh?
wow, wow, wow.
What are you gonna do about that, Darren? You gonna cry? Huh? Huh? You gonna cry? That's right. Go cry to your mommy.
I will. I will go to my mom. He's so mean.
Shut up.
And scene. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah.
Oh, it's
So,
like the early days of radio. But yeah, like it weekend update, not bad, not too bad.
yeah, I think I like the jokes more than the death segments this time around.
Fair enough. I'll agree
Yeah,
with you there.
I just thought Heidi's character was a weak way to end it.
Yeah, yeah. She did what she could with it, but it didn't quite
Yeah,
get there. Next up, coffee commercial.
coffee commercial. People are very excited that there's this three-time Oscar presenter doing their commercial, and it's the wonderful actress Dawn Faraway, who is just obviously Faye Dunaway.
What?
I mean, we just reversed a couple letters and then we gave her a wig that made her look exactly like Faye
Oh
Dunaway.
yeah. Huh. Okay.
um,
Pretty clever, SNL.
yeah, so she's like a temperamental actress, and she's doing a coffee commercial. And Mikey is a stagehand who keeps topping off her coffee, and we find out she doesn't drink coffee, so it's like kind of freaking her out.
Right. Like, have you ever had coffee before? Nope, never had it.
Yeah, um, she has to come through her door, deliver this bit of dialogue, and she criticizes a cameraman for being in her eye line.
Right. Can he please leave? And of course,
Um,
while this is all happening, she's farting quite a bit. Lot of wet farts happening.
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh, okay, we really have nothing. We're
Yeah.
just really fucking desperate
I think at
now.
one point it's like, I don't know who let all these frogs in here, but they're being quite loud.
Yeah, this was pretty awful. I thought.
It's yeah, I can't really stand by
I
it.
mean,
Like
I'm not a big one for fart humor, just because it's generally always the same joke.
yeah, you're a classy man. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to do a good fart joke, but 9 times out of 10, it's just, haha, they farted. Isn't that funny in and of itself? And usually, I don't find it funny in and of itself. You know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, hmm. I'm trying to figure out why this didn't quite work. Like it's yeah, maybe they like leaned on the fart humor a little too much,
Yeah,
and like the fact that I mean Maya does what Maya does, and she's pleasant enough, and the fact her wackiness in the role is enough. The way she tells everybody to leave, the way she tells the first makeup girl to leave, and then the
yeah,
second because she doesn't like her. Then the second makeup girl comes in and saying, "I don't like her. Get out of here." Then Punky, as the second makeup girl, says, "I don't like you either." And then she's like, "Oh, I
yeah,
like her now." Like that. I was like, "All right, that's something." It just doesn't feel like it fully came together. Like there are bits and
yeah.
bobs of it that are interesting, but not really like laugh out loud
Yeah,
hilarious.
I thought this was pretty weak, and it was up, way too early in the show. If I had to put this on, I would have buried it at the very end.
Yeah, like I mean, we'll get into it, but like I feel like there was the cut for time sketch. I would have put this in place of this sketch for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, like, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Next up, nurse appreciation.
Nurse appreciation, because apparently it's National Nurses Week,
Hmm.
um, which I was not aware of. But hey, hat tip to all the nurses out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have JIJ coming as a doctor saying, "Hey, this is the week we honor all the hardworking women and men." I guess
Yeah,
that was funny.
and we've got, the turn is we got Ego and Maya as these two elder care workers, um, and they're just talking about what hell that is, because half of what they do is cleaning up his shit, and the other
Yeah.
half is,
Yeah. I think at one
what was
point,
the other half?
I don't remember, but yeah, like they basically like kind of clean up his poop
Yeah.
and whatnot. And like I do like the little line where because both Maya and Ego are talking with Jamaican accents,
Hmm.
and then at one point Ego asks Maya, "Hey, where's that accent from?" It's like, "Oh, what part is that of Jamaica is that accent from?" And Maya says, "It's from the Jamaican part of Ireland."
Yeah.
Because her accent, I think that's them kind of pointing out the fact that yeah, Maya's accent goes from Jamaican to Irish kind of quickly.
Hmm.
A lot of people who try to do Jamaican accent that does happen. That does happen.
Yeah. I I wasn't too nuts about this one. I did like the line about how people were banging on their pots and pans to show appreciation, and we also noticed how quickly you stopped.
Yeah, that was a good line because
That was a good line. It's my two takeaways from this is it's always fun to see Mikey play an old guy,
right.
because he's good at it, and also Doggy with sunglasses.
Oh, right, because at one point the nurses talk about how the elderly man Mikey's playing gives his prescription pills to a dog,
Yeah,
and now the dog is lit as hell,
yeah,
and of course dog in sunglasses. So I
got
mean, I
legs
thought you
off.
would have loved the sketch just for that.
I mean, I like that part of the sketch. Yeah, I just don't think it was too terribly funny. Other than that,
Yeah, and then talk about how they had to put a tube in the old man's penis, and how
yeah,
that's like putting a straw inside another straw. Which I was like, I don't. All right.
yeah.
It's
I think it would have been funnier if they said something like, it would have been, it's like putting a straw into a strand of spaghetti or something like
There you
that.
go. All right.
I feel like that is more picturesque.
Yeah, or like putting a straw inside a cooked manicotti or cooked
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
type of pasta. What's that pasta that?
Like if we're making similes about old man penises, and I feel like that is what we are doing. Um, Wet noodles a way to go.
Yeah, like a cooked elbow macaroni or something like
Sure,
that.
sure. Yeah, if it's like twisted like a pig penis. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. Now I'm trying to think of cooked pasta that a man's penis could look like. Uh,
I mean, we could be here all day.
oof. That's a whole nother podcast.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Please tune in to our spinoff podcast, Pasta That Looks Like Old Man Penises.
Pasta penis.
It has upwards of 2 listeners now.
Yes. You and me.
Yes,
Um, and even I kind of clock out after a minute.
I'm on the fence about it. Honestly,
I'm like unfollow.
I feel like we've probably plumbed the depths of every of that subject matter after only like 3 weeks.
Yes,
So
exactly.
we might have been a little hasty in starting up that new podcast.
Folks, this is the final episode of Pasta Penis. We thanks for all our Patreon listeners for supporting us. The Pasta Penis Patreons.
And thanks again to our sponsors, Chef Boyardee.
Bam. See, this is funnier than the sketch we're talking about.
I mean, pasta is just inherently funny,
Really is.
especially when it's compared to old man penis. Um,
But yeah, this sketch I thought I liked JHJ's line in the beginning, and then everything else was kind
uh,
of weak. I thought,
yeah,
but yeah,
the men, I guess,
yeah.
line.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was a funny line, and everything else. That was the biggest laugh I got out of the sketch.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we wrap up with the lawn care sketch.
Landscaping service is what it
Landscaping
is
service.
called on
That's
the YouTubes. They delayed uploading this one online. It just went up like just before we started recording, and we're like, oh, okay. They called it landscaping service.
yeah,
All right. Oh, generic SNL titles, you never disappoint.
absolutely.
Um, but this is about a company called Lanzetti's Lawn Care. We got Mikey and Maya as a husband and wife who run the company. And they say, and the promise they make is our landscapers will not get with your wife.
Right, because we all know the trope of yes, you bring over these strapping young bucks to landscape your home. Your wife is there all by her lonesome,
She's
looking
bored. Yeah.
looking
She sees
lust.
a handsome young man mowing the lawn.
Yes, and then she thinks he could mow my lawn.
They didn't say that, did they?
No, they didn't. I just did. I was trying to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just you.
That's a.
That's just your own perversions
Yep,
spelling it out.
that's
Okay.
right. That's my own sick thoughts coming out.
All right.
Uh,
Tune into our other podcast, our other podcast, Darren's Perversions.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
I feel like that one's going to go the distance.
Oh, forget about it. I got
He's got a lot of perversions, people.
I'm a sick puppy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this landscaping company promises that the landscapers will not get with your wives because they hire only hopeless, sexless, socially awkward zeros.
Yes. And
Uh,
we got Keenan, Devin, James Austin Johnson and Dismukes
Yes.
as the four representing. Um,
Yeah.
and they go into the various ways that they're socially repellent.
Yes. We see Keenan as one of them, and Chloe is like, "Oh wow, you did a real good job on the lawn." And he's the guy that talks in every other voice except his own.
Yes.
So he's like, "Oh, thank you, lawn I cut. Yeah, I totally mowed your lawn, dude. Right?"
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys who just can't talk in his own voice.
And they say, no matter what flavor of dud we send, your wife will walk away sexually dead.
Yes.
Which is funny, and I like the how they got very specific about the ways each one was socially awkward or unappealing. Um, and then at the end, we have a nice twist at the end where they say, we started this company 10 years ago when I made an error in judgment.
Yes, and yeah. Then we go into this whole other tangent about how Maya had an affair, multiple
Mhm.
affairs with younger landscaping bucks, and
Right.
and it almost got to the point where like she almost colluded with one of them to kill her husband, Mikey Day.
Yeah, yeah. And she's like, I was postpartum, and he's like, our daughter was in college. Oh, it, sketch of the night for me. This was strong. This is very funny, very entertaining.
Yeah, this was one of
Definitely should have been earlier. This was last sketch of the night. What the hell are you doing, SNL?
yeah
What's
this
going on?
yeah this was one of the stronger sketches of the night. This should have been, yeah, like you said, this should have been up way earlier. I got a kick
First
out of
half of
this.
the show, definitely.
Yeah, this was a had a stronger premise, had a stronger point of view. I like the point where they point out how their landscapers are just as awkward around guys as they are the women, and
Yeah, yeah,
then they show what Longfellow talking to Dismukes, and Longfellow
yeah,
saying, "Hey, so did you plant all the seeds down in my lawn?" And Dismukes is like, "Hell yeah, man!" And he tries to
yeah,
give him a pound, and then he tries to give him a handshake, and then just ends up hugging him.
yeah,
It's like, "Oh, we're hugging. Okay."
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
very entertaining sketch. This kind of saved the show from being a total loss for me because I feel like we had a lot of not great sketches in a row.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The
and this one saved it. And we went out on a pretty good night, pretty good one.
yeah, absolutely. I would have taken out the coffee sketch and the nurse sketch and put in the cut for time sketch that popped
Mm.
up later in the night. Oh, let me pull it up.
TT and Mario's new album.
Yes, TT and Mario's new album, which I didn't even realize until I saw people on Twitter talking about it through our SNL uh, Twitter community.
Hmm.
This is actually the second time Keenan and Maya are doing these characters. This is actually a sequel
Yeah,
to a sketch that was done back in 2005 when Jason Bateman hosted.
Jason Bateman.
Bateman, that was it. Bateman,
You said Baseman. Yeah.
Bateman,
No, he's not. He's not basting. He's Bateman.
Bateman. Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Well, like the photo that they showed of them was a photo from the original sketch, and I was like, yeah, yeah, this does seem familiar. And it's one of those record compilation things. So we got Longfellow and Chloe Fineman as a couple, and they're like, oh yes, and you get to hear all these sensual songs. But TT and Mario are going on 30 years of marriage, and they
Right.
and the title of the album is "Married Too Long." Booty in the rear view.
Yeah,
This was funny.
yeah, I got a kick out of this. Like them singing songs about how they have to set aside appointment for sex
Hmm.
these days, and like how they're too tired for sex, and how they're
Right, and then they end up not
yes,
even doing it.
exactly. Like I think at one
Yeah.
point they have a dinner, like some Indian vindaloo, and the
Hmm.
food just messes up their inside so much they have to use the bathroom, and then they don't want to do it.
Vindaloo, not a good food if you're gonna have sexy times
No,
later.
no. If you like, for me, like if I'm eating ribs or Indian food, I am not doing anything for the
That
rest.
is it for you for the
Yeah,
evening.
I'm
Yes.
I'm done.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
wrap. It's a wrap.
You are just a manatee on the couch.
Yes, I will be asleep and full of farts within the hour.
Right. With barbecue sauce still just smeared all across your face.
Yes, my cholesterol just shooting right up.
Yep. Yep.
But it's worth it. It's
I
worth.
do love some vindaloo, though.
Oh God.
Indian food is so good.
I
I
don't.
haven't had it in
Yeah,
so long.
I know. Like I know for some reason a lot of people are like, oh, it's too spicy for me. But goddamn, like, give me some vindaloo. Give me some. What is it?
Some tandoori chicken.
Ooh wee! Some butter
Oh yeah,
chicken.
some naan. I could you look. You put a big plate of naan in front of me. You
Oh,
like just stack it up like flapjacks,
you're about
man.
to see none of that none.
That's right.
Some
That's right.
some samosas. Forget
Oh
it.
damn! I want to go get some Indian food now.
Oh, forget it. Oh, we're oof marron. Are you? Wait, did you just leave?
No, no, that was my
Okay.
phone dropping. I was just so excited about the Indian food
It was
that
no, that
my
was
phone.
hilarious. It did sound like you were generally
It
just like
sounded like a door slam. You hear just tires screeching.
like fuck this podcast. I'm hungry. Just had tires peel out.
I come back 10 minutes later. Oh no, yeah,
Yeah, Frank, you could just edit that last 10 minutes out.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I actually liked it. I actually liked this cover time sketch quite a bit. Like, I mean,
yeah. It was pretty good. It was pretty
yeah,
good. The song titles were humorous. It was maybe a little long.
me,
It's like 4 minutes 48 seconds.
yeah, you
We
could
could
have,
have saved a minute off of this, I think.
yeah, if you cut, you could have tightened that up a bit. It would have been a little bit stronger. But I mean,
Hmm.
Maya and Keenan have great chemistry. Like,
Yeah.
they seem to appear like in most of the sketches together throughout the night, and just because
Hmm.
they last time Maya was on the show, they were in the cast together, and now so they have that built-in chemistry just
Yeah.
right there ready to
Yeah.
rock. So and also a nice little showing for Longfellow too, and
Hmm. Hmm.
Chloe Fineman as well.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
Fun to
kind
see
of
them as a couple.
wish they kept this in.
Yeah, I think it's stronger than a lot of the stuff they did. I think it's stronger than Nurse Appreciation, the coffee commercial, the Can You Pick Me Up, British Cavemen, certainly, even Teacher PSA.
Yeah, I would.
I'd put it in over most anything else that was in the show.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. That's
I
I
mean, it's no landscaping service. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I'm not a madman, but yeah, like I would. All the sketches you mentioned, I would. I mean, I understand why they had put it in "Pick Me Up" because it's Mother's Day weekend
Hmm.
and they want to have a nice,
Yeah,
sweet mom. No, but like
yeah,
all those other sketches you mentioned, yeah, I I,
eh,
I would absolutely
yeah.
replace them.
Yeah, I didn't get too excited about too many of the sketches in the show, and it's a little disappointing because Maya Rudolph's a solid host,
Hmm.
solid performer. Uh, I love the Vampire Weekend musical segments, first more than the second, but overall, a little disappointed with the show.
Little bit, yeah. Like and I also remember the last time she hosted, I kind of wasn't that strong an episode. I thought this one was a little bit stronger, but
Hmm.
still not super strong. Honestly, the one that surprised me was like when Kristen Wiig came back and
Hmm.
like which we talked about on the podcast. Like her episode, I thought was really strong. Like might be,
Yeah,
again, I'd have to go back and I'll probably go back on it when we do our season wrap up. But I
we're
think
going
her,
to be reviewing the whole season
ye-
in a couple weeks, so we'll
yeah.
figure out what disappointed us, what surprised us, what excited us, what sexually stimulated us.
Oh, oh my,
Um,
yeah. But yeah, like I
there were moments. There were moments.
there are moments. Yeah, I mean, I saw that Jacob Elordi sketch, the AA sketch. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
But yeah, like I
they're both
thought.
ninjas.
Yeah, but I thought the Kristen Wiig sketch or show rather that might have been the strongest show of the season. I thought, but and I kind of was hoping maybe this episode would have maybe come close to that, but it really kind
Hmm.
of didn't. It started off pretty strong, but then it peters out toward the end
Yeah, yeah.
for sure. But enough about what we think. What do you
It
guys?
peters out like
Yeah.
an old man's wet noodle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's right. I brought it back to old man penises.
Nice, nice. Bring it back. But enough about
Yeah.
wet noodles and penises. What did you guys think out there in the audience? Let's check out a Twitter.
Out there in Twitterland, what did you think? What do you have to say?
Yeah. Well, our good friend Jacob at darkmatter_362 says
Hmm.
a terrific episode. These cold opens are never really funny, but I'm a sucker for them nonetheless. Monologue was one of the best. Hot One started meh, but by the end was one of my favorites. Even the abrupt ending, which I usually hate, kind of worked here. And it says part two, happy to see PDD. Teachers had a fun premise, okay execution. British Caveman and
Hmm.
Coffee were both very dumb, but I was smiling the entire time. Pick Me Up and Nurse Appreciations were the weakest of the night. Not bad, though.
Mm.
Some of Che's best work on Weekend Update, and a sketch of the night was Hot Ones or Coffee. And then he goes on to say, just realized Maya had done the Hot Ones bit 3 times now, twice as Beyonce, and once on her show Loot. Surprised it still works.
I haven't seen the Loot version.
Loot, the Loot one works. Like, I haven't seen the new season of it, but I saw the first one and liked it quite a bit. But yeah. So Maya, I'm surprised she hasn't gone on Hot Ones as herself. But who knows? Maybe in the future she will.
That would be neat. That would be neat to see.
That'd be pretty neat.
See, our friend Boardman Gets Paid says, "Hi guys, happy Mother's Day to the mothers in everyone's life.
Oh,
I liked this episode. It was fun. It was witty, a little bit unhinged, a great Maya episode. We saw every cast member.
we did.
Yeah, I guess we did. I don't think there was anybody who was left out.
No, everybody got a piece.
I thought the energy fell off after update, but it was still pretty good. Love you guys. Peace."
Thank you, Boardman.
So, thank you, Boardman. We love you back.
We love you, man. And then Techie at Uncle Scrooge DCK says, "Oh Maya, this is why this show should continue. Great, please don't destroy. Great energy, fun sketches, and Maya as Queen Bee. Damn."
I think he's referring to her outfit in the monologue.
Oh yeah, she slayed. Yas Queen.
Yeah.
As they
Well,
say.
it seemed like the people liked this episode a lot more than we did.
Yeah, a lot of people were warm on it, but I don't know. We stand by it. We don't kowtow to what everybody else says.
I just wasn't too nuts about this one. I just felt like most of the material was weak. So
yeah, fair enough. It was okay, but it didn't bowl me over.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But
what you gonna do? But hey, we next week season finale. We can always hope we're bowled over by that. Next week we got Jake Gyllenhaal. We got Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, this is how we're
I'm
ending
familiar with one of those people.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. I believe it'll be his 3rd time hosting. Sabrina Carpenter, brand new pop star out on the scene, and this will be her 1st time on the show. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to see what Gyllenhaal brings to wrap this whole season up. I don't know, like as we go into the big 50, season 50, like what's gonna happen? Is somebody?
Well, we know it was announced this week that they're going to have a primetime special in February
Yes.
on a Sunday, and it's going to be a 3-hour special.
Move. Yeah. How are we going to talk?
Until 11.
Yeah. How are we going to talk about that, man? That's gonna. Woo.
I don't know. We got close to a year to figure it out, though.
Yes,
we got about 9 months to figure it out.
We got to make some plans.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, big 50.
Do we want to live stream? Do we want to just delay the episode a day? Let us know. What do you want us to do, people?
Yeah. What do you want?
Of course, we're going to cover it.
Yeah. What do you want from us? What do you want from us?
We're here to serve you.
Yes, indeed.
SNL nerds, listeners.
Absolutely. We hear and obey.
I mean, you asked us to end the penis pasta podcast, and we heard you. We listened.
Yes.
We ended it.
Yes, we acquiesced to your whims.
Yeah.
And it's over. Done.
It's done. It's done. And we will use the time that we would have put into that to cover SNL's 50th.
Yes, exactly. Put that to good use.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And
hey, yeah.
Yeah, and
almost at the end of another season.
Yeah, and the other end of the season and end of another episode. That's our episode, guys. Thanks again for listening, as always, to the podcast. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, because we refuse to call it X, at SNL Nerds Show. And you can follow me on all the social medias at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
Yes, you can follow me on all the social medias at Trumbull Comic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic. And if you want to find me on Facebook, I'm just there under my name.
Yeah, we're there.
So if you can spell Trumbull, you're halfway there.
Absolutely. And that's it.
And you can spell Trumbull, because I just told you how to do it.
Yeah, come on. You just told you how to do it. Come on, don't be lazy.
You don't listen?
Yeah, what? Come on. What, you don't listen? I don't speak too good.
Look, hit the little rewind button. That'll take you back 15 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
now you know.
Absolutely. So so we got Jake Gyllenhaal coming up, and after that, season 49 wrap up, and then after that, who knows? If you got any movies or TV shows that you want us to review that's SNL related, tweet at us. Let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, as long as it's something we can get our hands on, and it's not something that we've covered before on the podcast, we'd love to do it. We'd love to hear your suggestions. So just add us at SNL Nerds Show,
Yeah.
or send us a private message or whatever. And if you got some suggestions, like, hey, why don't you cover this? How haven't you covered this? What the fuck? What's going on? What kind of operation are you running over there?
Yeah, slide in our DMs and berate us.
I mean, maybe not be that rude about it. But,
oh no, that's
you can suggest it in a nicer way than that.
That's what I'm into. So.
Okay. Well, that's one of Darren's many kinks, which is why he has that other podcast.
Right.
So
season 2 coming out.
Anyway, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with Jake Gyllenhaal and Sabrina Carpenter. But until then, nerds out.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.